And happy Monday. It's time for another Mindful Play Monday Live, and today we're doing a little pretend setup with the Kindness Kitchen. We're going to be making some friendship pizza. So I have on my kid's little chef hat. We'll see how long it lasts. It's a little too small for my head, but I thought it went well with our theme today because we're going to be talking about ways to be a great friend, how to build those friendships, and we're going to be making our very own friendship pizza. Good morning, thanks for joining us. We're making friendship pizza today for our Mindful Play Monday activity. The only things that you're going to need are some construction paper, a paper plate that's going to be the base of our pizza, and then I like to use a muffin tin to organize all of our loose parts. You don't have to, you could just put them into little bowls or put them into little piles, but I did go ahead and pre-cut some of our pizza toppings, and I'll explain what we're going to use those for and what those represent in our friendship pizza. So you'll also need some scissors and a glue stick, or you could use liquid glue if you like. We also used a paint stick today because we couldn't find any brown construction paper in our construction paper pile. There was no brown. So we used a paint stick to color the outer edge of our paper plate pizza brown for our crust. So you can kind of see what that looks like there. And I'm going to take off my chef hat because it's kind of tipping over and I don't want to lose it this morning. So welcome to our Kindness Kitchen. Today we are going to be making friendship pizzas for Mindful Play Monday. The first step is going to be adding your kindness crust, the brown, to your paper plate. So if you do have brown construction paper, unlike us, you can use a circle and then just glue it down, or you can just color it with a quick stick paint stick. If you have paint sticks, you can also just use colored pencils, crayons, or markers. The first step is going to be making the crust of your friendship pizza. So I did this ahead of time to save us some time because every Mindful Play Monday Live, we like to keep 10 minutes or less. So in order for us to not have to sit and wait for the paint to dry, I did that ahead of time. So we just colored with the paint stick to make the crust of our pizza. Now, as you're working to build your friendship pizza, this is an example of what it might look like when you're all done. You're going to be talking about special ingredients. What are the ingredients that we need to make a good friend? What does it mean to be a good friend? It's going to be a great conversation starter if you're working with kiddos this summer in summer school, working in a classroom, or even just at home with siblings or individual kids. So the first step is, of course, we have to have a good solid foundation, or the crust of our pizza, and you want that crust to be a nice base for your friendship. And so we're calling this kindness crust because a good base for any friendship, to be a good friend, to make friends, is by being kind, showing kindness. So what does that look like? Maybe that means you are sharing, you're caring, you are asking that new person on the playground or asking that new person in class to play with you and introducing yourself, giving your name. So that's going to be the base for our friendship pizza, is kindness. We've got our kindness crust. And then the next step is we're going to put some sauce. So we have our tomato sauce here in our pizza crust, and we're calling this sharing sauce because another key foundation to any friendship is sharing. And I'm just going to use a glue stick to add that on. You could use a glue stick, or you could also use just regular school glue, whatever you have handy. We use glue sticks mostly because they are typically less messy. So I'm just going to add my sharing sauce on top of my kindness crust, and we're building friendship. We're building on our traits of how to be a good friend while adding to our friendship pizza. So we have kindness crust, we talked about being kind, and our sharing sauce because good friends are sharing. And that doesn't mean just sharing our toys, but also sharing our feelings, sharing our love, sharing our kindness. We've got our sharing sauce. And now you get to be creative. So with the pizza that we made this morning, we added in a layer of cheese. We're calling that yellow paper our cheese, and that could be some caring cheddar, companion cheese, some confident cheese. You could even call it meaningful mozzarella, and these are all adjectives that are describing what it means to be a good friend. So I'm going to cut out another circle just from our construction paper. If you have older kids, they can of course do this part themselves. If you do have younger ones that you're working with on friendship pizzas for this craft, you could go ahead and cut these shapes out ahead of time and have them all laid out, ready to decorate and design our friendship pizzas. So I'm going to use a glue stick again and add on my cheese on top of the sharing sauce. And I'm going to call this some confident cheddar on top of my cheese, on top of my sauce for our friendship pizza. So we talked about with the kindness crust, that's going to be the base of any friendship, is showing kindness. Sharing sauce, we're sharing our love, we're sharing our toys, we're sharing our thoughts and our feelings with our friends. And then we've got some confident cheese right there in the middle on top of our pizza. And that confident is going to be being confident in ourselves, being confident with our friends, and telling them how we feel, talking about what confidence means, what it looks like, what it sounds like. And then I've got a variety of toppings here. We like to use a little muffin tin to keep our loose parts and our pizza toppings organized. So you can again work through and talk about what the different traits of friendship are for you, what that looks like in your classroom or your family. Some examples that we have here, I just used a little hole punch to punch the hole out there to make our olives, but we are calling these our optimistic olives. So we're going to talk about what optimism means, being optimistic with our friends, having optimism for our friendships so that we can show them those olives there. We've got some more cheese here. You could add to that as your cheese base on your friendship pizza. Call that confidence cheese. You could call that calming cheese because we want to be calm and use kind words with our friends. Got a couple of different colors there depending on what kind of toppings you could use, and say these, if you cut them into maybe triangle shape, you could say these are little pineapple chunks. So positive pineapples, if you are a pineapple lover on your pizza. Positive pineapples to put on top of your friendship pizza because we want to be positive with our friends. I've got some peppers down here, some patient green peppers, some patient peppers because we want to show patience with our friends. Sometimes friends fight and that's okay. We have to be patient with each other. And then we cut out some little red circles for pepperonis. Again, you could call these positive pepperonis, patient pepperonis, playful pepperonis, or polite pepperonis. I was looking at lots of adjectives this morning. So being polite with our friends, and work on adding those to your friendship pizza. So as I am gluing those down, I'm going to angle you down here so you can see what we're doing. I'm going to start with a few polite pepperonis because when I'm building a friendship and when I'm working on meeting new people to become friends with, I do want to be polite with them, using our manners, please and thank you, introducing ourselves, and speaking politely. So I've got my polite pepperonis. And then you can call these our little patient pineapples. I'm going to be patient with my friends. Add some patient pineapple chunks to my friendship pizza, and I'm just sticking them anywhere. Whoop. You can stick them and decorate your pizza how you like. I don't think I got enough glue on that one. There we go. And then we've got our cheese again, our confident cheese, because we want to be confident when we're introducing ourselves to new people and making new friends. We're going to be confident with ourselves. Our patient peppers, adding some patience to our friendship pizza because sometimes we just have to learn to be patient with our friends if they're going through a hard time, or even if we're going through a hard time. We want to share that with them so that they are also patient with us. Just quickly adding those. Let's see, what am I missing? Our optimistic olives. I like how these turned out. Just use a little hole punch to punch a hole into the middle of the olive there. And then what we're going to do, you can see as we build upon and decorate our friendship pizza, you can also then use it to symbolize how we are going to share that pizza with our friends. So let me just wrap that up there. So now, if you are working with older kids, they can do this themselves. If you are working with the little ones, you can do this for them. But we're going to talk about how we cut that pizza. So if I'm going to cut my pizza just like I would with a regular pizza, usually we start down the middle, and then in the middle again. So we have fourths, and then depending on how big your paper plate is, you can again cut it into eighths so that we have our little pizza pieces. So this is our friendship pizza. You can then use this as a little puzzle to build back together and put all the pieces together to build your friendship pizza, or you can pretend that you are handing out these pizza pieces to your friends, to your new friends, to your old friends, as a good visual reminder of what it takes to be a friend when we build our friendship pizza together in the Kindness Kitchen. If you don't want to cut these apart, you don't have to. You can leave it as a whole piece of pizza. It is a fun, cute little craft for summer, little cooking theme, little kitchen theme, and then a nice reminder of all the things that it takes to be a good friend. So when you do see those sibling quarrels come up over the summer, or if you see kiddos getting anxious, or even as you're building a new community, if you're teaching summer school, if you're teaching a summer camp, getting into summer activities with some kids that maybe have not met each other before, this will be a great icebreaker activity to introduce each other, talk to the whole class, look at what it takes to be a good friend, how we're going to work together as a team in this camp or in this class over the summer to build those relationships. And everybody loves pizza. Everybody gets a piece of the friendship pizza. One quick reminder, not only is it good to be a friend to others, but it's important to be a friend to yourself. So if you do go back and cut those pizza pieces apart, make sure that you save one for yourself, or that each child gets a piece of their own pizza too, because we want to be friends with ourselves first before we can add and share that pizza with others. So make sure you always get a piece for yourself before you extend that friendship pizza to others. Quick fun activity, a nice little cut and paste activity for today, building our friendship pizzas, a nice way to kick off summer, a good activity to have kiddos that are not familiar with each other work together to build upon a whole class or a whole camp full of friendship pizzas. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining us for another Mindful Play Monday Live. As a quick reminder, there will be no Mindful Play Monday Live next Monday. We are going on a little field trip here with our family, so we will not be there for a live activity, but I'll try to put together a reel for you on Instagram so you have more ideas to get you through your week in the middle of June. I'll be sure to have this recording up on our YouTube channel, and I'll also post it to our stories. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy your friendship pizza.